Welcome back for another fun makeover. My name's Charlene with Olive Street Designs, and these nightstands are the next project. And they've got areas where the finish is completely missing, lots of dents and dings, and they're just pretty well worn. It's time for a refresh. So these are great nightstands. They're really solid, well built, heavy, but we got to get them cleaned up. They feel kind of sticky, like they have lots of wax and polish on them, and I want to make sure I get all of that off of there because it will impact the adhesion of my products, especially since I use mainly water-based products. So if there's polish and waxes and things on the surface, of course my water-based products are not going to stick well. So I'm using a good degreaser, and of course I got my scrubber out because I just felt like I needed a little extra oomph to get a lot of that out of there, out of all the little nooks and crannies. So a good degreaser and a scrubber, and hopefully that will get everything off of the surface that I need to get off of there so that my products will be long lasting and durable. Here's a good shot of just what that scrubber is doing. It's fantastic for getting into those little corners. Those are always the areas that you just can't quite get all the way into the corner unless you've got some type of a brush or maybe even just a toothbrush to get in there. So just spending some time to make sure everything is clean. I do get a lot of questions about why do I even bother cleaning before I get started making it really dirty again. And that is why I just want to remove all of that. Wax and polishes and things also build up on sandpaper, which can cause damage to your product or to the surface of the area you're trying to smooth. So I just need to get this smoothed down really well. I don't know what caused that. It looks like maybe they set something down there that was oily and it just started to eat that finish away and then they scraped it off. I'm not sure, but we're all good to go with it now. And then this glazing and spot putty, I'm going to be putting in any little dents and dings that didn't sand out with the scuff sanding. A lot of times that will smooth a lot of little dents and dings, but sometimes they're deeper than that. Okay, I'm just going to get the drawers out. I was careful to number them as well because I want them to go back into the same spot. And now you can see that I'm using the pad on my sander. You could certainly do this by hand if you had some type of a pad. On these rounded areas, it just makes things a lot easier if you have a sanding pad. Of course, doing it on the sander speeds that process up even more. This is a great sander if you can make the investment. Okay, time for the temporary handles. Now I use the screws, the really long adjustable screws that come with new hardware as my temporary handles because I never use them to actually install hardware, but they work great for temp handles. And sometimes I need to be able to open and close my drawers when they're in the tent getting painted. It just makes that super helpful. Okay, getting everything all dusted and cleaned up one last time. And here they are. They've got to get ugly before they get pretty, and these are looking pretty ugly. I've got to get that switched around. I set up my spray tent, and in they go. I'm going to mix up my primer. Now I don't have to mix the primer, but I do dilute my primer because when spraying, the primer is just a little bit too thick, and if I don't dilute it, it'll come out and look like orange peel and blotchy. So I just add a bit of water to it, get it in there, and now when I spray it, it will be a fine mist. Just getting my sprayer all back together, and now we're ready. Time for some primer. Now, even when I am using paints that may be an all-in-one paint that say they have paint, primer, top coat, and everything in them, I still go through those layers because overall, I like the primer coat. It gives me an opportunity to sand afterwards, and I just feel like I get much better coverage so that I use actually less paint. So this is a really good process or a good step that I don't usually skip even when using those excellent paints. All right, good primer coat. Now that everything had a chance to dry, I do go in and sand everything. Now I have a sanding sponge in my hand. The grit on this was a 320. I have no idea what it is now because I've been using that sponge forever, probably at least 400. And this is my paint color. Now this is just a beautiful, warm, neutral. I would call this a light taupe, where it's kind of giving grayish vibes, where it's going to lean a little gray and a little beige. So we call that grayish. I guess it could also be a taupe. taupe to me has a little bit more green basis to it, and this is going to lean pretty warm tan gray. So. All right, always, just making sure that as I go with each pass on my sprayer that I'm overlapping so everything's nice and even. And then in between coats, I always go in, pull the drawers out, and then touch up any edges. Now those edges were pretty well sprayed, but just not really thorough enough. So they did get a little bit of everything on there, but I just want that to be touched up so that it's a nice solid color. And then it's funny when you start doing things, how you see things with the paint on there that you didn't see before. So there was a crack. It's not a crack. There is where the joint comes together, where the trim on the front meets the rest of the drawer face. And that seam just stands out when you put paint on it. It looks horrible. So I have some diluted wood filler in my hand. So this is just my wood filler. I add a little water to it so it's really soft, and I can press it down into that space. And then I had a damp microfiber towel that I'm just wiping it back with. You don't want to wipe it all off, but I wipe off most of it. So it's nice and smooth. And it filled in all of those gaps. And so now when I paint it, you won't see that at all. That seam is gone. So I'm in between coats and I'm sanding, dusting, and here I go with the second coat of paint. And again, overlapping every pass so I get a nice even coat. And this is Topcoat. So I did 2 coats of paint, and then I will go in with multiple coats of Topcoat as well. Now I use a matte Topcoat because even though my paint might be eggshell or satin, I really like that matte finish. So it's a nice layer of Topcoat. Time to line some drawers. So these details are not always necessary. These drawers were actually in pretty good condition. You can see that, but I just felt like they needed a little something extra. I mean, we're trying to make these fantastic, not just ordinary. So I wanted to do a little something extra. So I cut them to size. I dry fit it just to make sure everything fit right. And I'm going to kind of just flop that into the drawer. Get it smoothed down with my hand, and then I take a plastic putty knife and smooth everything down into the edges and just get out any air bubbles that might be in there. And there they are. I love this liner. And I will continue to just cut them all. So I have 6 drawers that are all the same. I did that first one, and now I'm just going to do 5 more. This is assembly line drawer liners. I got those all done, and time to install some hardware. I love these knobs. I think these look so designer high-end. So let's take a quick look back at where we started. Now, again, these were worn, dark, dated, but not anymore. These are just lovely. I love a good neutral, and this to me seems like you could pair this with anything, and it would fit in a lot of different aesthetics, whether it's modern or traditional. So I hope you like it, and be sure to follow for more.